we're back taking a look at Mark's 2021 Tour Revival. As you can see, Randy's already got the exhaust off, air intake off. He's getting ready to take this stuff off here for the cam plate itself so that he can measure the run out. We have to check that because he wants to put in a more precision cam plate and oil pump. Harley's spec on how much they let that crank move up and down doesn't really agree with some of these high performance oil pumps, so we just want to make sure. I mean, this motorcycle doesn't even have 100 miles on it, but just how they build them from the factory. It's not that it's worn out or anything like that. If it's beyond spec, it's just how they would have built this particular motor. So we're just double checking all that, getting ready to put the rear shocks on while we got it apart. Yeah, so just check it out. Randy's putting that cover back on there. We don't have anything in there yet just to keep everything out. But he did find out that the run out from the factory is a little more than he wanted to use gear-driven cams. So they are going to do the chain style just like stock with the hydraulic tensioners. It will still be a new cam plate and new oil pump, just not going to do gear drive. So we're going to get some stuff on order, and when we get things in, we'll show you how that works. While he's got it up on the lift, he is going to go ahead and do the rear suspension, kind of check out and see how that goes. Not super complicated. The biggest thing is getting the sag set correctly after it's all installed for the particular rider and how they ride. Do they ride two up? You know, how big is the person, things of that nature. So Legends kind of gives you a chart on how they want you to set the sag. So we will be getting them installed first and then be having Mark get on the motorcycle so that Randy can set the sag for him. Like I've said in the past, please like and subscribe, share the channel with your friends. Feel free to comment down below, and I will try to respond to everybody's comments. Check us out at the Fort, Loveland, Colorado. Thanks a lot. We've been looking real great, a little dirty today. We've actually been working on our dyno room. For those of you that have seen the interior of this store, it's very rustic. Mark, the owner, has over the years collected a lot of, old wood and tin and all these different cool things that you just can't find anymore. I-beams, like I was talking about, for the cash wrap. So we noticed when we first started dynoing my lowrider here that the dyno room didn't look that great. Now, we're gonna do a little more dynoing today. However, you're not gonna notice that much of a change because we got the whole ceiling done today. Mark had more of this corrugated steel. He said it actually came from a chicken farm or something that he had owned at some point. So anyway, we've got all that and we're all kind of spent for the day. We've gone as far as we can go today on fixing up the dyno room. And Randy and I are gonna see if we can finish the dyno on this one. Like I had said, I'm gonna switch out this air cleaner cover. I do really like these air cleaner covers. One of the things, I am kind of a nerd when it comes to hardware and stuff. So one of the things that always drives me crazy when I would see people with these S&S air cleaners is that these screws would be really jacked up. And okay, S&S gave me new ones in the kit and that's fine, but you can screw them up just putting them in. It's not just taking them out. So you really want to have a high quality and the right size. This is a very big, what they call an oval head screw. And it's a Phillips, but it's a number 3. So you need a very large, high quality. This one I grabbed out of Randy's box is a Mac. Number 3, so that you can take these out without messing them up. Because right now they're kind of cool looking black screws, but when they get all jacked up from using a screwdriver that's too small or low quality that doesn't fit right, it just doesn't look right. Now, I could very easily reuse this air filter. It does not look bad. I bought a new one. I think I might just reuse this one though. I hadn't gotten in there to see what it looked like. So, these are cleanable. Every time I've had a service, they've just been cleaned and re-oiled. This one actually really looks good. I think I'll keep that other one in the box. I'll put a new cover, a filter right here. Anyway, check it out. So this should make this thing breathe much better. I talked about it a little bit last week, and the only piece I had was this outside piece. But as you can see, it still has all the holes. Still the same general shape that I like, but it has a big hole in the center. That hole is going to be filled by this cool little thing here. Man, look at this little bad boy. So that's going to help with the airflow there. I wonder if they gave me new screws because maybe they need to be longer. So, but that's okay. I still don't need to beat the crap out of those screws. We'll just see how this goes. All right, well, we are gonna try this out. See if this helps us. I'm gonna get this pulled around to the back of the building, get it up on the dyno, and see what we can come up with. We are in the dyno room. It is actually the next day. We had said on the video that I was gonna pull it around, we were gonna throw it up on the dyno. As I was pulling around the building, it dawned on me, we still have the old O2 sensors in there. The factory ones, because we let Todd ride it to Chris Mauer's service. So I was like, oh, okay, well, we were all so tired. We were in here working all day. If you can see that kind of cool corrugated steel roof above me, that is what Mark and Randy and I did on Sunday. So we got that in there. We're trying to make the dyno room a little more presentable because we keep filming these videos in here. So it's going to get the same cool treatment that the front of the store did. We're just not completely there yet, but we're going to get there. We are going to get the wideband O2 sensors in there, and we are going to finish tuning this sucker with the new air cleaner. These are just a little tough. And on these new Softails especially, they don't give you a lot of room between the frame and that front cylinder. So it can be a little bit problematic to try to get the flange on the front one, even just to, once it's on, even just to try to tighten it up sometimes can be a little hard. But probably the next time you do see something being dynoed in here, we're gonna do some larger engines for some customers and things like that. You will see the dyno room start to progress. Aesthetically look better. It won't make the machine run any better, but it will look cooler. So stay tuned for that.
Let's take my glasses off. This is too close for me to read with my glasses, and that's too far for me to read without my glasses.
Getting old's a bitch, people.
Now I need to close this out. Max speed is maxed out. Be good to go. Now I need to program that with tuning mode on.
So it's basically finding what we had done last time and starting from there.
It's programming it to for tuning mode. Because when we were done, we turned tuning mode off.
Okay, so it's got to get back to that point where it's ready to make changes. Okay.
The map that we just programmed into it was the last map that we did.
All right, I better find some ear protection because it's going to get loud, people. So what Randy's got going on is he's already having to add more fuel to the system because, as I keep referring to, it's an air-fuel ratio. So if this new air cleaner is allowing it to suck in more air to keep those ratios proper, you need to add more fuel. So I think that's what we were dealing with last time that he was trying this, is just simply that my air intake couldn't bring in enough CFMs to keep up with the size of this engine. Since it wasn't bringing enough air, it wasn't having us add enough fuel. So the combination of the two of them, a little bit lower numbers than we were expecting. But it's not even just the lower numbers. It did have a pretty significant dip right off of idle, or off of 2000, I guess. So we're gonna try to take care of that and make it run as good as it can. He's taken all the changes that he just made and he's sending those into the computer, the onboard computer on the bike itself. So kind of cool stuff. Way better than back in the carburetor days when you had to adjust needle heights and change jets every single time you wanted to change something. So these are pretty cool for those people that don't like fuel injection. They probably like older bikes that don't need this much precision. There's a place for everybody. So I don't know how much of the screen you guys could actually see when he was doing that, but he was using the percentage of throttle and the brake on the dyno itself to hit different cells so that, again, like we were talking about, so that you can get everywhere that you're gonna ride, not just wide open. All right, so there's a gas station right next door. Low fuel light popped up on there, so we don't want to run it out of gas. So everybody has a hard time with these caps, which they are kind of a pain in the butt, but they look cool. But also, I kind of have a bit of a technique because I have them on several of my bikes. But that is the number one thing people say to me when they ride this bike, is what a pain in the ass it is to take that off. So each time that Randy runs through all that stuff, it will ask for some changes, but they start getting smaller and smaller and smaller. That means you're getting very close to having it where you want it.
Watching like air fuel ratio, and you can see we're real steady.
Yeah. So that's basically what you're looking for.
Yeah. 122 and 137. I think our best run was this one. 119, 135. So we gained on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. That's what we were looking for. It's an improvement.
Yep. So we did gain on it. So that tells me, obviously, we were choking her down.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So we did gain on both horsepower and torque by putting in a different air cleaner. We're both under the impression that we probably could have gained more if I do like, you know, like fueling offers a really big one. Several different companies offer a very big air cleaner that guys are using on these giant motors with big displacement. Hey, Todd's calling me back. I'm gonna see what he has to say. We ended up having to add fuel once we got a better air breather on there. Again, I still don't think this is as good as some of those big giant ones, but I'm not willing to do that because they look stupid.
Yeah, heavy breather is the way to go as far as getting good numbers.
And that's what that one had in that you were showing us, right? But I think we're pretty well done messing around with this thing. It is plenty fast. It's gonna go. It will get me up to trolling speed. Like and subscribe to our channel. Share it with your friends. Come out and see us out here at the fort. We're on Highway 34 as you're heading towards Estes Park. It happens to look like an old fort, so thus the name. So stop by and see us. Thanks a lot. Check you next time.